Welcome into Hand Raised Guys. I started to say something else. Hand Raised Guys, presented by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. I'm Neal McCready, joined by my special guest. You might know him as Tyler Siskey of McCready and Siskey. Just earlier today.
Hey.
You were here. Welcome back. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, long time no
it.
see.
I know, it's been a minute.
First time, long time.
It has been a minute. We will we'll take your calls. We'll talk about stuff. You guys know how this works. This is the show that belongs to you guys. You can call in on the number that's right there on the screen.
662-259-8563.
That is correct. I will tell you that each and every Thursday when the show airs, we are brought to you by our friends at Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. If your heater is not working right now, bless your sweetheart.
Hey, can I give him a special shout out real quick?
Yeah.
On this behalf. So we had all kinds of, I guess you would call it, ventilation issues with Brock's room. And Eric came out this summer, took care, put in extra vents, the whole deal, put in a whole nother unit thing for it, and got that room. And so it's usually hella cold and hella hot. It's been perfect. Great job. Awesome. They did a great job. Eric's my guy.
They're great dudes.
Great dudes, great people.
We were concerned because our hot water heater is in the attic.
Yeah.
And we were concerned when it was supposed to get frigid.
It was going to be a cold water heater.
You could have real problems. And they came out, insulated it, did all that stuff for us they're fantastic. So get in touch with them. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, that area, call Comer, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, South Haven, Olive Branch, Horn Lake, those kinds of areas, get in touch with Southern, 662-429-4429. We are in the Clark Ford studios. Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi. 662-257-1900 is the number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you the quote within 15 minutes. All right, caller, hang tight real quick. Stay there. I'm going to finish paying the bills here because they got to do that. That's what keeps things floating here at MPW. Clark Ford, 662-257-1900. Call. I was talking to Corey today. I had a battery issue on my truck. They came and got my truck, left me a, what's out there, an Explorer?
Yes.
I think it's an Explorer. Working on my battery, having a battery issue. It's under warranty, so they're taking care of me. They'll do the same thing for you. You build a relationship with them. They will, you will want them to be your car guy, to be your truck guy. They want to be that for you. 662-257-1900. Callers will join on the Campbell Clinic Hotline from fractures, sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions. The pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi providing expert care for growing bodies. Visit CampbellClinicOxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111. And, of course, this will be the Friday Blue Sky Live. If you're out and about this weekend, no matter where you're going, you see a blue sky, that's the place to stop. Stop at Blue Sky. You can fill up your car outside. You can fill yourself up inside. They always have the great ribs that you can make a part of your weekend. Always got great beer selection, sodas, all the stuff that you're looking for while you're out and about on the roads, getting to wherever you are going at Blue Sky. Caller, welcome to the show. How are you?
Doing good, Neal. It's Tupelo.
What's up, Tup?
Tupelo, what it is?
Oh, not a whole lot. We got a lot going on. We got this exhibition greatest hockey match of all time tonight.
It's not an exhibition. This is not an exhibition. This is a war of countries. This is a war of countries that have begun to develop quite a dislike for one another. This might be the first step in the U.S. just taking Canada and making it our bitch and making it ours. Take their country and we just go, you're us now. You're our 51st state.
I have a theory that if Donald Trump didn't get elected, I have a theory that we would not feel this patriotic toward this event, if that makes sense.
Well, I feel like confident that Kamala Harris would not have put out a tweet today
inviting Governor Trudeau
to the governor's
meeting
in D.C.
Yeah.
Phillips.
I mean,
Safe assumption.
It's a supposition on my part.
Yeah, safe.
They're okay. I've seen a lot of sporting events that on TV that were hosted in Boston. They have hate for their domestic rivals. They're booing that anthem tonight. I mean, it's not even going to be it's not even a discussion. They are going to boo the anthem.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
I mean,
I want to see goalies fight.
Don't we owe them a anthem booing after they booed ours?
Here's what I think they should do. I think they should all throw down. I think they should put all 5 plus the goalie, all 6 in the penalty box, and the clock should just be running for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Or the puck just sitting in the middle of the ice because everybody's in the penalty box. That's what I want to see. That's what I'm here for.
The fact that the game, it matters for pride, but not for any type of, it just matters for pride. It makes the event that much better because once they leave tonight, there's nothing else other than just pride. I mean, it's not even like a end of regular season event like we have in football. I mean, this is really good. It's really well done. And when I lived in St. Louis, I would go to Blues games all the time. It's the best sporting event to watch in person.
Oh, listen, I've told this story before, but the single best sporting event I've ever seen live, no, hands down, was Game 5 of the Western Conference hockey, NHL Western Conference. I want to say semifinals, may have been Western Conference Finals. It was St. Louis Blues, Chicago Blackhawks. Went to overtime. That place was absolutely bonkers. Like you could feel the 11. I've been to a World Series game.
Yep.
I've been to NBA conference finals. I've never been to the finals, but I've been to conference finals.
Been to a Gator Bowl.
I've been to a Gator Bowl. I've been to national championship games. Yep. I've covered national championship games.
NFL playoff games.
I've covered I've covered NFC championship game in Chicago, Saints Bears. Nothing against those events, and the Cubs Indians World Series game was probably as close to a religious thing as you can experience. Maybe in general.
Yeah,
it was really emotional for a lot. You could tell people were like moved, but it was nothing like that. That was electric.
Well, we had fun at. We went to Vegas. We watched Vegas, and was it Edmonton we watched, right? Wasn't it Vegas and Edmonton? Because that's Cole's team is Edmonton.
And that was a regular season game.
That was a regular season game, but it was still, if you go to a hockey game, it's, I don't care if you're a hockey fan or not. It's fun.
Yeah.
Like, especially at Vegas, because they made it like a show.
Yeah.
They did so much extra. It was almost like a Vegas show meets they do a really good job.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
My mom's brother, my uncle, lives in St. Louis as well. And he was in attendance. He was at Busch Stadium for Game 7 of the World Series, or Game 6 of the World Series in 2011 when David Freese hit the walk-off home run. And he was in attendance. He was at the game. I think it was Game 1 of the conference championship when the Blues that year they won the Stanley Cup, not the World Series, the Stanley Cup. And he said they were night and day difference. And that was it wasn't even a championship Game 7 or anything. It was Game 1. And he said it felt like the whole game, you felt like you were about to just levitate. Like you were just about to leave your own body. He said it was just an amazing feeling. I love going to hockey games. They're my favorite in-person sporting event I could go to. You don't have to worry about if it's going to be hot. It's going to be cold. So pack up. I mean, it's a fun event. It's really fun. It's almost like football games. You kind of get lost in the crowd with it being so many people. Hockey games is even less, in my opinion, than basketball because you're so close to the actual action. It's really fun.
Yeah, I mean, this. I know this isn't
Have you been to a Predators game in Nashville?
Yeah, I've been to Preds.
I want to go. I haven't been.
Yeah, I've been to games in Chicago, St. Louis, Dallas, Nashville. It seems like one of the Vegas. Maybe that's it.
I haven't been.
Yeah. What you don't realize about hockey dudes is how big they are.
Yeah,
they're just on that little.
they're tight ends and linebackers playing.
Yeah.
So hockey in St. Louis is easily the second biggest sport. I mean, it's baseball and hockey, and so
it was the back till they released AJ, and then they're off.
St. Louis has a baseball team.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What?
St. Louis has a baseball team.
Yeah. Neal. Hey, I saw your Cubs won today. Congratulations.
We blew out the Dodgers.
That wasn't a win.
We're on our.
No, hey, it's championship or bust.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Well,
what are we thinking?
It's bust.
I mean, yeah. So, okay, I'm glad Siskey's on here. I've got to ask about this because, okay, I'm probably one of the 10 people in the entire country that actually watches the UFL. I mean, I love watching it. We watch the Battlehawks games all the time. We love it. I know you probably can't say much because it is AJ. I don't understand the Battlehawks thought process behind not doing anything to try to keep AJ. I mean, he was, in my opinion, he was the closest thing to he was probably the most important and valuable and just most loved player to their team in the UFL, if that makes sense. And they just didn't do anything to try to keep him. It's kind of sad. I mean, it's going to suck this year, but whatever.
There's a lot, obviously a lot more to it. I'll let him him tell his side of it. But the other thing with when the XFL and the UFL combined, okay, so when AJ started, it was the XFL with St. Louis, right, and the USFL. But when they combined, they went to keep the leagues. What's the right way to keep the leagues afloat? They went to the USFL's pay model, and so now, I mean, just being honest, it wouldn't benefit AJ financially or anybody to take that at his age to put his body at risk for that amount of money, because everybody gets paid the same in the UFL. I don't know if you knew that or not. So every single player
it's a bunch of liberals.
Well, yeah, every single team gets paid. Every single player gets paid the exact same. So it would be. It's not even six figures that he would. So I mean, he can. So I think he's going to, and he'll say it when he's ready to say it. But he's got some options on the table. But I think he will. He may sit out this year in the UFL to do the NFL stuff again, or just shut it down. Period.
Yeah, I've wondered if that league would ever, I don't know how it would work. If the model could ever be switched to a minor league system for the NFL, I don't know how that would go. But I mean, I know you have preseason, but
yeah, the original XFL contracts when he first went to St. Louis, he would be taking almost a 600% pay cut to play in the UFL today. A 600% pay cut.
Grind says he Googled USFL salary. It says $17.75 an hour.
Oh, I don't know about that. It's I think it's 70,000 per player per year.
Oh wow.
That's still more than some of these double A guys that play double A baseball.
Yeah, I think it's
I
think it's 70,000 per player per year.
Oh, it's a lot more than you make playing double A. But most of those guys have gotten big signing bonuses when they started.
There's none of that signing bonus stuff. So it's I think that's what it is.
Y'all find this interesting just as baseball fan or MLB fans. So I was raised outside of Jackson, and I'm back there now. But growing up, I used to go to baseball games at Trustmark Park and would watch Mississippi Braves games. Well, we'd always sit in the outfield just so I could talk to the pitchers in the bullpen that was back there. And I got to talking to this one guy when I was like, I don't know, 15 or so, 14 or 15. And I asked him, I said, so how does this work? Like, where do you live when, you don't know if you're going to be moved each off season? How does that work? And he goes, well, most of us just kind of live with someone who's a big fan of the team, and they just take us in for 6 months or so.
Like the Cape Cod.
I was mind blown. I thought, oh my word. And then as I got older, I realized they don't make anything. But anyway, Well, I'm notorious for asking an NBA question. So, Neal, I gotta talk about 1 point about the NBA.
All right.
All right. This whole trading John Morant stuff, I know Jeffrey talked about it this morning.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. I've said before, I think it's best if they had to pick two people to build the future around, to be Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. But you don't trade him unless he's put up a year where he's played consistently and can show other teams that he can play.
It's the whole
and then he
Zion Williamson thing, right? Is that you don't want to trade in, but if he ever did that, you wouldn't.
Then you want to keep.
So it's why people say, why are the Pelicans still stuck with Zion? And it's because when he plays healthy, he's one of the best 10 players on earth. He just isn't healthy. But if he ever got healthy, and that's just that's a trap, if you will. And I understand why they're in it. Now Ja has played more than Zion, and some of his problems have been, off the court and the people around him and that kind of thing. But if you're Memphis, so much of your franchise is tied to Ja Morant. You're not trading Ja Morant unless someone makes you an offer in the offseason that allows you to fundamentally change the direction of your franchise in a positive way. And I just don't think anybody will.
No, they won't do it now, because the reverse of, well, anyone can get traded now, what we saw with Luka. The reverse also is, well, there's not many teams that may want Ja Morant will reach out and say, here's the next 3 years first-round draft picks, when they may can get him based on the Luka trade for an older veteran and 1 first-round draft pick. So it's made it a hard place for GMs like Zach Kleiman, who I don't anticipate he's even thought about trading Ja.
No,
but
I don't think so either. I don't doubt that.
He does such a great job promoting the Second Amendment. I mean,
Ja.
Yeah.
What are we even talking about?
I mean, I just don't. I don't think this is. And this, I said this morning. I don't know. I've done so many shows and stuff that I kind of forget what I say. But if I'm Memphis, this is not the year that This is not the playoff run, however long or short that it might go, that is the litmus test for where I feel my organization is. I've got 2 rookies. I've got Morant coming back from all of his issues and plus injuries. This is a year where I sort of figure out, okay, here's where we are, here's what we need, here's what we don't need. This is not a playoff run that is going to lead to some monumental change, in my opinion.
Well, the beginning of the year, the expectation was, in my opinion, and I think it was kind of the default expectation was, okay, get back to the playoffs, see what you can do in the playoffs, and maybe win the first round playoff series. And that's it. And I think because they've exceeded expectations so far, the goalposts are getting moved. And when they lose to teams like, they haven't won a game. Did you know this, Neal? They haven't won a game in the state of California this year.
I did not know that.
So I have a joke with my friends. Like, Ja Morant or the Grizzlies, it's not really Ja, but they're like, they cannot win a game in California even before this year. I mean, I think their record since Ja's gotten there, I think they've won in the state of California like 4 times in the last 5 years. It's crazy. But anyway, now that they've exceeded expectations, the goalpost is we'll make the conference finals. And when that's the expectation and you're not going to get there, then I think people start saying, well, who can we trade so that we can get there next year? And I think that's a bad mindset, because you're going to set yourself up for failure.
Yeah, they're playing 2 rookies. I mean, they should just see where they look. The West playoffs are going to be insane. I mean, Memphis right now is the 2. They have a half-game lead over Denver, 2.5 over Houston, 3.5 over the Lakers, 5 over the Clippers. The odds are they're going to get home court. I mean, it's try to win a first-round series and then see what happens. But, I mean, somebody in the West is going to be disappointed when Minnesota's the 7 right now. Minnesota's in the play-in right now. Dallas is in the play-in.
Yeah.
Sacramento, Golden State, Phoenix is just outside of the play-in. Spurs now without Wemby, that will fall off. It was going to fall off anyway, but I mean,
Yeah,
the West
is comparable
the
to
West
the
is
SEC when
yeah, the West is super complicated. Like there's nobody that's like of the teams that could be the 8, right? Lakers, Clippers, Wolves, Mavericks, Kings, Warriors, Suns. I mean, I think the Thunder beat those teams, but there's 2 or 3 of those teams that would be scary. Clippers are scary. And
yeah, that's my fear of the first round matchup. And I think how the seeding is right now, that would be our first round matchup. I don't know if you're looking at it.
yeah, well, you'd play if it ended today, you'd get the 2, so you would play the 7, and right now the 7 would be probably Minnesota. Minnesota.
Yeah, which I don't want that matchup. I mean,
no, there's no matchup that you get that you go, oh, that's a sure thing. That's the whole point. The West is complicated because there's a lot of really good teams. I mean, right now Denver might be the best team in the NBA the way they're playing.
Yeah. So I got one more question. I'm gonna hang up. I know, Siskey, you're a Braves fan, and Neal, you're that other team's fan. Is there a secondary team that you guys like to watch? Like just to watch? Like mine, for example, they used to be rivals. They're not really anymore. But I like to watch the Royals when the Cardinals have an off night or whatever. Is there a team that you guys like to watch?
I do.
That's like that.
I play daily fantasy baseball, and so I will, watch based on around that, and then, I have the Major League Baseball package, so I will pretty much I'll have the Braves on TV. I'll watch every game, and then I'll watch whoever I'm playing fantasy. But I'm just a general fan. I don't really have another team that I pull for.
Yeah, I try to make myself. I have the package. I try to make myself watch other teams.
No Tucker.
Yeah, I mean. Wait, some of the stories on that cat, wow! Like that cat, he might have a problem.
Was it the 17 new ones that came forward that would make you think that, or was it the first 6?
Well, I mean, some of the things that he left for the yeah, come on. I've caught myself the last couple of years watching the Orioles a little bit. When I was a kid, I kind of liked Baltimore because I love their uniforms. And I've been to Camden Yards a few times, so I kind of like them. They're a fun young team. I like Rutschman, some of those guys. So if Baltimore's on, I'll turn them on sometimes and just kind of keep an eye on them.
Yeah, the Orioles have, I think, still there's some love in St. Louis. I think a little bit for the Orioles that's just been passed down to generation just because of the. They were the St. Louis Browns that moved there. But anyway. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to hang up and listen.
All right, appreciate you.
All right, Neal. Go Cardinals.
Hey, who do we have?
Hello.
Who's this?
This is Old School.
Oh, what's up, Old School? How are you?
What's going on? Is this McCready?
This is McCready. Yep, it is.
Hey, first of all,
brother?
we got his name's McCready. Can you say like with an A, McCready?
McCready.
Yep.
There you go.
There you go.
Thank you. That's very good.
McCready.
McCready.
Sorry about
very
that.
good.
That's
There we
okay.
go.
No, you're all good.
Hey, all good. How we doing, my friend?
Not very well right now.
Oh boy.
Oh no, what
Here we
happened?
go.
What's wrong?
Not very well right now. We've got problems here in the electrical panel some kind of way. We got a short here, so we do not have power.
Oh.
Yeah, we got an electrician on the way. So let's hope he can do.
Scoops we had internet. I think it's the weather, man. Internet issues, and then we had car issues.
I had to reset everything. I've got a battery issue with my truck.
I mean, what are we doing?
It's just a lot of stuff going
you know
on.
What? But fellas, you know what? Let's just think about this realistically. If that's all the problems we have, we ain't got no damn problems.
Oh, if that's the worst thing that's happened, absolutely no problems at all.
Tell them, Old School.
You could live in Canada.
There you go. You could.
Well, I'm just saying.
You're right. You could live in Canada right now knowing that you are just an hour and 13 minutes away from an ass kicking that's about to commence in Boston.
I'm just not too happy with Canada right now. Let's just call it like it is.
Hey, you know what I think? You know what I think we should do right now, Old School?
What?
Because you know what? America,
Mhm.
hashtag America is about to take on Canada, the soon to be 51st state. I
Yep.
think
Mhm.
to get the crowd in the spirit, I think you should sing "God Bless America" for the fans.
Oh, I do too.
Well, if I knew the words, I do not have my TV handy. So if I knew the words to it, I could probably do that. But I cannot do that. I am not a Carrie Underwood. I cannot do that a cappella because I don't know.
What about the national anthem?
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies.
Hopefully it's coming on before that. But let me just say this
For
before we get
amber
off
waves of
off this. Canada Canada has disrespected the United States of America.
Above the fruited plain.
So tonight, when the game starts, as soon as the game starts, within 2 seconds after them dropping that puck, there's going to be hands thrown because we've been disrespected. We're not through with it yet.
I agree completely.
No, we're not through with it yet. We're going to be fighting as soon as that damn puck drops.
I just want to know what happens the first time when they sing. Whoever's invited, some Grammy Award-winning singer is going to launch into "Oh Canada," and this is going to get ugly right there. I think it's going to get ugly.
Then let's get ugly. Let's talk truth. We don't need Canada. We don't need anything they have. And Trudeau's leaving because he wants to leave. You know why? Because he don't want to kiss the ring. They going to kiss that ring. You going to kiss the ring. Either you going to kiss the ring or we fixing to drop your ass like a bad habit. We fixing to drop you. We're not going to protect you. We're not going to give stuff to you. We're not going to give you anything. We're going to treat you. You're going to kiss that ring. If you want to get on this bus, you're going to say, who's your daddy? It's Trump. Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? It's Trump. You're going to kiss the ring, bro. You are going to kiss the ring. You're going to kiss the freaking ring. We've been protecting your ass long enough, but we're tired of it. It's over with. Now you fix to pay up, Canada. And if you do become the 51st state, we're going to treat you like the little bitch that you are. You're not going to jump to the front of the line. You're going to be the 51st state. That's what I think of Canada. Screw Canada.
The true north, strong and free.
Kind of worried about all the words like that.
From far
Screw their dogs.
Canada,
screw their dogs too. Screw their dogs. Screw their cats. All of it, man. I'm tired of getting shit on by these other countries that we've been taking care of, and they don't give us the respect that we're due. What would be? That would be the smartest move they could make to be the 51st state, and they're so damn stupid. That because of pride,
what they should do tonight, old school? And when they sing it, instead of saying "God keep our land," they should say "Trump keep our land, glorious and free." That's what they should do.
All right, hey, old school. What about? I know you don't know "God Bless America." What about the national anthem to get us fired up? I know you know that.
What about that one?
Oh, say can you see? I know some of it. I don't know all of it. I will be ready.
Anthem? Come on, old school.
I don't know the whole national anthem. No, I don't know the whole national anthem.
Oh, I mean,
I wash my clothes? Do I wash my whites and my darks together? You damn well better believe it. You damn well better believe it. Hell yes, it all goes in there, man.
Old school. I know the whole Canadian anthem, and you can't sing the American anthem?
No, I can't, brother. I can try. You want me to try?
What you got? Let's go.
I mean,
we're here.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held that our starlight star Yeah, no, I don't think I can do it.
I don't think.
I don't think.
All right, old school. We appreciate you very much. Enjoy,
all right, man.
enjoy the hockey.
Take care of McCready. McCready, take care of him, man.
All right, old school. Be good.
Take care.
My guy. His power's out. He didn't have his
Star Spangled Banner.
My man didn't have his karaoke thing to go off of.
Sang it Hey, caller, who do we have?
Hey, this is Candler up in Rhode Island.
What's up, Candler? How are you?
Hey, I got a bone to pick with you.
Oh God.
How in the hell do y'all live It's that damn cold outside. I mean, we're getting a taste. We're getting a taste of an early June day in Rhode Island today, and I'm hurting.
And brother, it felt like the wind chill yesterday was 1 degree, and we had 2 feet of snow last week. So, but Siskey, you want to know where I moved to Rhode Island from?
Where's that? Don't say Florida. Did you move from Anniston, Alabama?
No, but I do have 3 speeding tickets in Anniston, Alabama. Natchitoches, Louisiana.
How about that?
All right, here's the key question. Do you know how to spell Natchitoches, Louisiana?
I do.
All right, let's ask Scoops here. Scoops is from Louisiana.
So there's Natchitoches and there's Nacogdoches.
Nacogdoches is in
Texas.
Yes.
Natchitoches is Natchitoches.
Look at you.
Go.
It's almost like your parents were English teachers. I mean, really. Look at you.
Yes.
That's impressive. It took me it had to take me I learned how to spell it about a week before we took the Arkansas State job.
Natchitoches.
Oh, I learned how to say it after I said it wrong 3 times in the interview.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, that was
in Natchitoches.
I was the director of marketing and digital media for the Northwestern State Demons.
The Demons, Forkum Demons. I'm an alumni.
Forkum Demons.
Purple Power.
I know. That's why I brought it up.
I have a master's of education with a concentration in sports administration from Northwestern State
You and I
University.
are living proof that all you need in a directional school in Louisiana for an advanced degree is a pulse.
That's it, boss. That's it.
Hey, I've seen some stuff living in Louisiana, but yeah, we're up here in Rhode Island now, and I spent an hour and 10 minutes getting home tonight with all the traffic trying to get to Boston. So
yeah,
that was fun.
Y'all can have the traffic.
How
too.
far are you from Boston? Hour?
I am 45 minutes tonight, probably 2.5 hours.
Oh wow!
But it's gridlock from so I live in Providence, so coming from Kingston is south of Providence, so you come up 95 and stop in Providence. If you keep going on 95, you get to Boston.
Got you.
But
I'm
yeah,
ready for
Neal,
Providence for the
that
NCAA tournament. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for Providence.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you that's part of why I called. I was gonna say, hey, if you the Rebs wind up here, hey, I'll be at the amp. If you gotta find the time, I'm gonna take you to Coast Guard House. I'm gonna let you have some of the best seafood of your life.
Oh, how about that? Sounds good.
Oh yeah,
I'm scared of Providence.
It's a fun place. There's a lot more it's a little city atmosphere to it. Personally, I like the Kingston Narragansett area better because it's more like beachy and open. But I mean, I've lived in Providence for 3 years now. It's a good place. Not a big fan of the AMP, which is.
I had someone try to sell me, and they did successfully on, maybe like one of those like a summer vacation with my wife to Newport. So Newport,
you absolutely should.
Newport's the deal.
Okay,
that's what I heard. He made a very convincing Newport argument.
Now here's the important question with the Newport aspect. I know. How do you feel about touring old multi-million-dollar family mansions?
You know, it's one of the. Here's my deal: is if a couple hours of that is going to make Laura happy, I'm good with it. That's cool. I'll walk her.
Oh yeah.
Look at stuff.
Bet they're haunted.
Probably.
Yeah, debatable, but yeah, you got like the Vanderbilt mansion here, and all of those all through Newport, and then you got the beaches and the old the dive bars and the fun old town area. It's a blast. This place is popping it on the weekends and stuff in the summer. I do bar security down there, and it's interesting.
There you go.
You get you never like these people. I'm the guy checking the IDs, and the amount of times I get do you know who my dad is?
Mm.
I'm like, honey, I went to Ole Miss. You know how many times I heard that in 4.5 years?
So do you know how to? Can you pick out a good fake ID these days, or are they gotten really?
I pick out a fake in about 3 to 4 seconds.
Really good?
I don't even need to. Oh, they've gotten real good. But the problem is that the kids think that they're a lot better than they actually are. And so they'll fight you on it. You got to hold your ground, but you ultimately call their bluff and they storm off. But it's fun. Yeah, I've had some interesting ones too. I've had a kid bring the ID where he is about as white as the paint on the walls in that room, and that ID, the person in the ID was about as dark as that shelf under the left TV, and he was convinced that was his ID.
Just
I was like, God, I was like, bro, I was like, I guess, man, I don't know if you Michael Jackson did here or what, but I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, Neal, I do hope the Reds go to Providence. If they do, I apologize that you'll have to go to the Amp for the games. That place is an absolute shithole.
Covered games in Tats for 15 years. It'll be all right.
This is true.
And one this.
Yeah. Providence plays there, so obviously they're our biggest rival, and you go there and they got the $4 beers and that they serve in the 32-ounce glass. Oh, it's great, but we get all the flack, but it's they're not a state school, we are, so we have to abide by state rules, and they don't. They got all the Christian money to do whatever they want with.
Shame.
You sold me on the $4 beer, so I'm
hey,
right there. Go Friars at this point, All right, hey, thanks.
Hey, come on, yes, sir. All right, y'all have a good night.
All right, brother, have a good one.
Chauncey makes a good point. Canada's never won a Super Bowl.
And what are we doing?
But the 1 year America had a CFL team, we won the Grey Cup.
Who was that?
I don't know.
How did you know that? Oh, so he said it. I didn't know we had an American CFL team.
You can dispute Chauncey?
Who was the American CFL team?
I don't know.
I didn't know we had one.
Hey, caller, who do we have?
Hey, Steve from Greenville.
What's up, Steve?
Hey, I got a couple stories for you. You'll get a kick. You were talking about training players today, working with players. I spent 14 years in public education. My first year was in Indianola. The football coach had won 2 state championships in Alabama and retired and come over to his hometown to coach football. His first day, he told the kids to warm up. The kids walked off the field. He said, "Where y'all going?" They said, "We don't warm up."
Mm.
He said he would call in a play.
Who was the coach?
No matter, huh?
Who was the coach? You remember?
I don't. It was a real tall, big, black, monster of a man.
Yeah.
By the way, it was the Baltimore Stallions.
Oh.
The Baltimore Stallions in 1995 beat the Calgary Stampeders 37-20 in the 83rd Grey Cup game. The game was played at Taylor Field in Regina, Saskatchewan.
Now I know.
Now you know.
All right, there. Steve, I'm sorry.
Anyway, he would call in no matter what play he called in, they ran a pass play because the kids wouldn't do anything but pass.
How'd that
all
work?
They wanted to do. They won one game that year.
About right.
They did egg the Greenville band at halftime once.
Okay.
Yeah, so there you go. The other story is I had a student that played football here in Central Mississippi. He wasn't a great athlete, but he was SWAC good enough to get a SWAC scholarship. He told the Mississippi Valley coach he would need $2,500 to visit their program on an official visit.
Good luck with that.
He was convinced he was going to get rich. They were all going to pay him big money.
Yeah, I've heard of things like that happening before. Yeah.
Yeah.
They ain't getting rich though.
No.
No, they do.
No.
They do now.
They do now.
They do now.
I mean, now you can get your Lambo or G-Wagon stolen in the middle of
mean-
the night. I mean, why not both? Both the G-Wagon and the Lambo stolen.
I mean, if you think about the recruiting pitch for Miami, so let's be clear. He was hanging out with Hannah Cavender, and he had his Lambo and his Mercedes
I
stolen.
need to read you the text I got from a staff member down there today. Hang on.
I mean,
That's how I've actually
if you're
found out about it.
18, suddenly Miami's kind of interesting, you know?
I'm going to find this text message. This is great.
I mean, hell, I'm thinking about up to play for the Hurricanes.
All right, so he sent me a tweet that was from Andy Slater. I guess that's who reported it.
Someone on the Miami staff.
Yeah, somebody on the Miami staff sent me that tweet this
Okay.
morning at, can't see what time it is.
It doesn't matter.
And it says, "Have you seen a more incredible tweet than this?" That was the response. That was the response.
Oh, shoot.
They loved it.
All right, guys. That's all I had for this
Appreciate
week.
All right, Steve. Appreciate
Have
you.
a great day.
You too. Bye.
My guy hit a 3 and got the points.
Yeah, he got. It was a dumb foul. He got pushed like right as he was letting go of the shot. There was no reason to foul there.
I think it's absurd that they're allowing Northwestern to be in this game, by the way.
Plenty of tickets available at Georgia Southern, by the way, for this App State game.
Yes, I'm all so App State will win this game, obviously, but App State's a better. They're probably the, I don't know.
Hey, caller, who do we have?
Hey, this is Andrew. How are y'all?
Andrew, we're good. Thank
What
you
it
for
is.
calling. How are you?
Good. I'm doing great. So I got a couple things for y'all. First of all, I don't know if y'all remember me, but I sent y'all a message about some life advice about losing weight, kind of middle to end of last year. So I just want to thank y'all first and foremost for taking the 30 minutes out of y'all's day. I'm down 35 pounds currently.
Let's go.
And so every time I like start to lose a little motivation, I go back and listen to that 30 minutes, and it's helped keep me straight. And so I appreciate that first and foremost.
awesome.
So
That's awesome. What have
Yeah.
you? What have you? What's been the big secret other than moving and not eating as much?
yeah, so just been staying disciplined on how I'm eating. So mostly it's chicken, rice, and broccoli. To be honest,
Yeah.
I've found that like I am a salesperson, so I'm on the road pretty much all the time. So trying to find the healthy options of like picking up food, or if I go out to lunch with a client, it's getting a salad instead of the fajitas at a Mexican restaurant, all those types of things. Not gorging myself on chips, things like that. But
It's me. Restaurants.
The chips.
The chips.
Yeah. What are you
dude.
doing exercise wise?
so going to the gym about 5 days a week, just doing 2 push days and 2 pull days and then a leg day, and then walking on the treadmill. So jogging a little bit and doing like a little couch to 5K program right now. So
Oh, good for you. Look at you.
yeah, so
Oh,
it's been good.
Well, congratulations.
So-
That's a big deal, man. I mean, don't let anybody ever minimize it. That's I don't know how much more you want to lose or whatnot, but you can't lose 40 until you lose 35. That's the way the math works. That's a hell of an accomplishment. Good for you.
No, absolutely. It's been great. And it's been great for me and my fiance, and she's gotten into it. So it's been fantastic for her too. It's just kind of shaped the way we've taken on this year for sure.
awesome, man. That's awesome.
But the other question I have, so a little bit more lighthearted, is for Neal. You're the NBA guy, but so I'm a big Spurs fan. Obviously, with the news today, it's not great. But like, how do you see our kind of turn the corner? I know we obviously have historically been a pretty good franchise and well run, and so I'm looking forward to the next couple of years, but just kind of wanted to hear your thoughts, and then I got one political one for y'all after that.
Okay, yeah, on the Spurs, I think everything's okay as long as this is a one-off. And everything I've read today, they feel like this is an isolated thing. Like I was telling Tyler, the Spurs weren't making the playoffs this year anyway, and if they did, they weren't going anywhere in the playoffs. So there's no reason to rush your timetable. Victor Wembanyama's what, 20? You're great, and you're gonna have a couple of picks. It's a great organization. They know what they're doing. You just gotta. It's the West. The West is loaded. You got to just add to this group. And I liked the De'Aaron Fox trade, so that was another building block. And you're gonna have to have a little ping pong ball luck. And but no, the Spurs have a really bright future, assuming, and I think everybody's hoping for this. Like some of the people on the internet, the one thing today that I stopped. I saw it in a few places, and I'm stopping because this is going to piss me off. Like other fan bases being like, "Oh, see,
Getting happy about
no,
it.
you cannot ever cheer for people's injuries. You don't cheer for people to have bad health.
That's terrible.
You don't do that. He's a generational talent. It's a great organization. They're gonna be perfectly fine. They were probably gonna start shutting him down anyway.
That's kind of what I was thinking. And honestly, at the beginning of this year, I was telling all of my friends, I'm in Dallas, so a bunch of Mavs fans, and we've got some OKC fans up here. And I've been like, honestly, we could lose every game this season as long as Victor stays healthy and we cash in our 2 lottery picks.
Sure.
This year. So
Yeah.
I think we need one more piece and then start making a run at it.
Yeah, they need another piece or two, and then they start building once they figure out what they have, and then you make a first playoff run, and someone will beat you, and then you get a chance to look at it and go, okay, well, what is it that we need? It's what the Thunder did, right? The Thunder swept the Pelicans, and then they played the Mavericks, and they lost in 6. And while it was difficult to lose, they learned a lot from that series, and they knew they had to get bigger. They went out and got Hartenstein. They needed to get a little more deep on the wings, and so they added Alex Caruso, and they're a much better positioned team for the playoffs this year. But they're still awfully young. There's still a lot to learn. The West is loaded with good teams. I mean, Denver, the way Denver's playing right now, Denver should be scary for everyone.
For sure. Absolutely. No, that's definitely true. And I think I feel like it's been the story of the West for a long time. They've been loaded off and on for the last 20 years, I feel like. So obviously they've had a couple lulls, but for the most part, it's been a tough conference. So, but I'll ask you my political question and then I'll hop off and just listen. But so I was a journalism major at Ole Miss, probably the biggest mistake of my life, but we'll not get into that. But I wanted to ask, the one thing that I have found interesting, so this is my really first political, presidential time that I really got into it. So obviously love what happened with the election, but I think one of the things that I would love to hear your take on, just you being in journalism and media, is I think looking back on this election cycle, one of the things that I haven't heard a lot talked about, but I think in years to come, we will look back as a changing piece in how elections are done and how people use media, is Trump's use of podcasts and alternative media and the transition away from the traditional aspects. And I know it was huge for my generation on how we consumed it through Rogan. And
how old are you, by the way?
27.
All right. Yep.
So seeing Vance on Rogan, seeing Trump on Rogan, those were my 2 big ones. But all the other podcasts they did, I know Trump was on Bussin' with the Boys and all those Barstool podcasts and things like that.
Yep.
I think historically we will look back and see how this has shifted campaigns in the future as a turning point in U.S. history on how campaigns are run.
Yep.
So I just wanted to get your take on that. And but I'll hang up and listen, and with you in the field, I wanted to hear what you thought.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
It's funny, the day before the election, the Saturday before the election, Ole Miss played at Arkansas.
Yep.
And so I covered that game, and I stayed there because I spoke I spoke to a journalism class at the U of A on Monday, and they were impressive kids. And I told them on that Monday, and it turns out I was prescient, that I said, because they were very excited. They're doing this, like day-long live coverage that obviously no one was going to watch. But It's going to be a great experience for them, right? A bunch of 21, 22-year-old kids. And I told them that I believed that Trump would win, and that I believed that Trump would win because he had a better media plan than she had. That she being Kamala Harris, relied on traditional media. She did 60 Minutes. Donald Trump didn't. Think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
20 years ago, someone would have said, are you insane? You're not going to go on 60 Minutes? He didn't.
No.
He did, but he did Rogan, and she didn't. And I said that I thought her decision to not go to Austin and sit down and do the long format with Joe Rogan killed any chance she had of winning the presidency.
That Rogan podcast probably did more numbers than 5 years of 60 Minutes. She could have done every episode of 60 Minutes for 5 years.
Yeah.
And wouldn't have had as many eyeballs or ears as he had in that one podcast.
And it's not just the podcast, right? It's the fact that they clip up the podcast on Twitter.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
It's extra hours.
Yeah. And so one of the mistakes that I thought the Democrats made, to the caller's point, is they remember when Trump put Vance on the ticket and they launched this campaign with the word weird. He's weird. He's weird. Man, this guy's really weird, right? Weird, weird, weird. And he goes on Rogan and does 3 hours and 11 minutes or whatever he did. And he's not weird. Like, you might not like him.
Right.
You might think, hey, I don't like this guy's policies. But the one thing that you didn't come away at all thinking was he's weird. And so there's this natural thing. Well, if you're lying to me about that, what else are you lying to me about?
Yeah.
And I thought that was I thought that was a game changer in that particular race. I thought it was fundamental.
Agree. I mean, it was pretty easy from how he connected to the younger voter was so different, and that's why he won.
Yeah, he connected to the younger voter. He won the male voter. And, I mean, look, there's a lot there. But, yes, to answer the overreaching question about how will this impact media, elections, media strategy going forward? You can't be hostage to, hey, I'm just going to go on friendly media. So the other thing that they did was that Vance went and took a lot of the bullets, if you will. He did a lot of the hostile media. And then they got in front of the big audiences, the way that people consume media today. Young people, your kids, my kids, they don't watch network television.
Totally different.
They consume everything on demand. Hey, caller, who do we have?
Hey, guys, it's Vibin.
What's up, Vibin? How are you?
Vibin, what it is?
What up? Just got back from a gym, ran to the grocery store, got some wings, going to throw them on the grill. Probably need to do that now. How cold is it up there? Because it's pretty cold down here on the coast.
It's
like miserable. Like there's no pleasure in going outside.
That is
no,
correct.
It's a biting cold. I mean, I like cold, and it's too cold for me.
I don't.
The grill tonight. If Laura told me, hey, let's light the grill, I would look at her. It's 21 right now.
Yeah, I think it's going to drop. I think the low tonight's supposed to be still in the low 30s, maybe 30 exactly. But I don't think it's getting in the 20s, thank God.
We're dropping to 15 tonight.
Jesus. Okay.
The high tomorrow,
yeah,
Oxford, by the way, in case you're wondering, the high tomorrow is 38. That's why they moved the baseball game. The Ole Miss game was scheduled to be a night game. I think it's 2:00 now.
I don't know.
1:00. I don't know.
They canceled the high school game. I know that.
It's in the afternoon. The low tomorrow night in Oxford is 23.
I was about to say, for college baseball, it's a little different, but I feel like for high school baseball, if it's that cold, you should just automatically cancel the games.
Well, I'm selfishly glad it did because it's a long time to sit out in the old non-sunshine.
Yes.
It's cold, man. I don't do the cold.
No, I don't either. I don't think I'd move to any state north of Tennessee-ish just because I can't stand cold weather.
Yeah, I think I'm going.
And even then, I'd just be
Mississippi.
miserable during the winter.
I think I'm gonna stop my northern trek in Oxford, Mississippi. I think it's here south for me from here on out.
So Neal, I want to ask you something. By the way, I've come to somewhat of a conclusion, and I guess since you run the site, you and Chase do, maybe you can agree or disagree on it. So this is looking like the most successful basketball season Ole Miss has had in men's hoops in, at least 5 years?
Yeah, certainly.
I guess
Probably 25 years.
Well,
right?
I mean,
since Keith Carter played.
well, the year they won the SEC tournament, they went to the second round.
But if you take away the SEC tournament run,
right. Well, depending on how
they won the tournament that year, right?
yeah, depending on how it ends.
Because they wouldn't have made the tournament unless they won it. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So,
Well, actually, on that Sunday morning, had they lost to Florida, they were going to go to Dayton and be in the
playing game.
Yeah.
so. I say all that to ask. It feels like even though this season has been definitely a huge success, I feel like Ole Miss. I don't know if Ole Miss fans are just more cynical about everything now, or just cynical about basketball because I don't know if it's the paranoia and anxiety about they're afraid Beard's going to leave, or I feel like everyone should be over the moon right now when you compare where this basketball program was 2-3 years ago, and they're not.
Yeah, I'm not great at this part because I'm not like out and about with fans talking about stuff. I mean, my feedback comes from what I see on the board and when we do shows like this. But I think in general, this applies not just at Ole Miss, but everywhere. I think people are, for whatever reason with sports, especially college sports, I think people are angrier right now. I don't know that. It's kind of my own little personal theory that I've started developing. I see it. There's a lot of what I guess used to be like trash talk now feels more personal. People feel more invested, or they feel like they're. I think fans are just in general. This is again. There's no science behind this. This is just my little working theory that I've started to develop over the last few months. I think quote NIL has made fans angrier.
I think it's made them entitled.
Mm.
I think even the guy that just say Joe Schmo that's given $40 a month to his alma mater's collective now has that feeling of entitlement. You know, if they're not succeeding on the field or on the court, well, this is what my money's. I think there's more of that, but I don't know. That could just be me.
Yeah, because you know that before NIL, nobody paid for players. So now that they're
you're absolutely right. Look, those players went to those schools for the love of those universities.
Question.
And those campuses.
You know,
that's the only thing. You know, no under the table payments. Get the hell out of here with that.
I can't tell you how many times I've been on recruiting visits. I would walk those really nice football players through the Grove, and they'd be like, you know what, this is the place. This is where I'm coming. You walk them through the Walk of Champions, and you're like, this is where I'm coming.
And then the night before signing day, all of a sudden God spoke to them, and they just had a sudden change of heart.
Yeah, a few of them, sometimes, it happens,
That's Toby Dean.
prayer is powerful. Well, that was more of about 9:30 in the morning, so it was a little bit more. It was a little later than midnight, but yeah, anyway. Did you hear some?
That was.
But I mean, now
should
what
say
you
Yeah,
have guys.
speaking of,
Now you have guys coming out of the portal where they don't even visit really. I mean, they show up for a visit, but the visit is not like a traditional campus visit. Like they don't really do the tours and stuff. Basically, they show up, they meet with the coaches, they meet with the collective. A lot of times the official visit's less than a day. I mean, it's a business decision. So, you know, and I'm not criticizing it, but you can't really expect those people to have all of the emotion that and the sentimentality that was attached, you know, just 10 years ago. Like I give you an example over the weekend. It was on the message board, and it wasn't. I'm not criticizing the people who posted what they said. I found it very interesting. Someone had posted about what was the kid's name? Liam Doyle, the pitcher for Ole Miss last year, who's pitching for Tennessee now, and I guess he started the Vols opener, and I guess he pitched well. And you know, people were basically someone called him a traitor. And I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's more to his departure than I'm aware of. Apparently, he tried to recruit some other players. Blah blah blah. Whatever. But my point was, well, if he's a traitor, then Walter Nolan's a traitor. Princely Amamialen's a traitor.
Because they play for your team now.
And so you just go on, and after a while, you look up, and it's like, well, everybody's a traitor. And so it doesn't. And I get the whole fan thing, right? I mean, yeah, but they're my traders. But that leads to the anger. Like someone on the board, I don't remember the kid's name. I haven't gotten into college baseball yet. It's going to take me a couple of weeks before I will. I will eventually be able to be conversant. But a kid hit a 2-run home run for Ole Miss on Friday against Arizona, and someone on the thread said, I didn't know who that was. Well, I mean.
No, Neal, I can tell you. I'm not.
Ole Miss baseball
I'm
fans.
not as big into baseball.
I'm finishing the point real quick. I promise. I'll shut up. The Ole Miss baseball fan base is typically pretty passionate. Like they know their guys, and I thought that was an interesting comment. It was like, hey, the guy was like, it made me realize, oh, it's changed so much that I don't even know who my guys are, right? And so I do think that has taken some of the. I don't know if joy is the right word, but I do think it's taken some of the good vibes out of it and made those vibes negative.
Yeah, no, I was just going to agree with you. I mean, I was the same way watching the games this past weekend. Now, look, I'll be the first to admit, after the Omaha run, I kind of checked out on baseball for a couple seasons because that was one of those deals where it's not going to get next season or the season after, it ain't going to get any better than last season. So it just kind of whatever happens, happens. But yeah, I didn't recognize most of the lineup. I started a thread before the basketball season started asking people on the board whether they thought Ole Miss was going to make the tournament or not. And one of the options was, I don't know, dude. I couldn't even name 5 players on the roster. And I think that might have gotten most of the votes. And that was in November. But no, I think that's a big part of it. Honestly, and Tyler might know more about this than I do. I think the unlimited transfers, I think if that ever gets addressed and stabilized, it's going to, I don't know the right word for this. It's going to make things less volatile. I don't know if or when that's going to happen, though.
Bobbin, I've said this. I will always say it. I will continue to say it, but nobody cares. And it's not even the unlimited transfer. If you go back to what the rule originally was, where if you can transfer all that you want, okay? But if you do transfer, and that's what you choose to do, you have to sit out 1 year. If that one rule right there was fixed, it would solve 99.99.99.99% of the problems in college sports today. But
so you think it's that big of a okay.
Yes, because here's the deal. All right, let me ask you a question. How much do you think you paid for Walter Nolan? Or excuse me, let's just do this. How much do you think Quinshon Judkins got from Ohio State?
$800K.
Okay, you're in the ballpark. Okay, but let's say this: how much would Ohio State pay for Quinshon Judkins? How much would he be worth if he had to sit out this past year? And now he's still a threat because he's going to be his third year. He could get wild hair up his ass and just start to train and not play next year either. But how much do you think Ohio State would have paid Quinshon if he was not eligible to play next year? How much would they pay him to sit?
Not much.
Ballpark, I guess 150 to 200, if
They
even
probably
that.
pay less than 100 probably. Okay, so my point is this: if you can't, that's how the market has gotten out of control. All right, you pay that. That's the one reason. So when you take that rule away, now the cost of players goes down, and now it's not so unbearable for everybody to afford to pay for. So that one rule fixes a lot of other things than just you're not just being an asshole. Okay, but it does fix a lot of the problems that people don't realize.
I got you. Last thing, I thought this thread, it got brought up on the message board. Neal, have you read any about the safety from LSU that got diagnosed with cancer and now I don't know if he's suing Brian Kelly or the university now?
Talking about Greg? Yeah. I've read a little bit about it.
Do you have a take on it? Like, do you think that lawsuit has legs to it, or do you think it's just a money grab?
I don't know that it's just a money grab. His family feels very passionate that he was mistreated, but I don't know enough about the details to really have an opinion one way or the other. I'd have to read a lot more than I've read.
I got you. Well, of course, naturally, all my LSU buddies down here are just nah. They just, people sue over anything now. I'm like, that doesn't sound like it was just anything.
No, there's something there. I mean, when he left Arkansas to go to LSU. He was a incredibly productive player, and then the health issues happened, and I mean, there's obviously a difference of opinion about what happened and how he was treated, but I just don't know enough to know specifics.
I got you. All right, guys. Well, I'll let y'all go. Appreciate y'all taking the call.
Bye.
All right, have a good day.
Was that the App State football coach just then?
Yeah. I guess that's what you get on the app. You get to see all the. You
don't
go to commercials. You get to see all kinds of fun stuff.
That's NBA League Pass. You see all the commercial stuff. You don't see the commercials. You see the stuff that happens on the court.
In the ESPN 4K stuff, you can see not this one, but like I was watching, maybe it was an alternate channel or something on basketball games. They'll show the whole deal. Eli Gold is on the call for ESPN Plus tonight with Jacksonville State Gamecocks.
Hey, who do we have?
Hi, you guys have Andrew from Columbus. First time, long time. How are you guys doing?
What's up, Andrew?
How we living?
Living well. This question is for Siskey. I'm curious because on McCready and Siskey, you talk about all the time how the most important thing to a team winning is just straight up having the dudes, and then elite coaching comes second. What is the delta when you were recruiting between taking the 5-star who was uncoachable or the guy who was super coachable, going to work hard, but didn't have that same level of talent? Like, where did you draw the line on I'll take the kid with less talent?
Well, one, it depends on where you're at, right? So, you're the way, like it. So when I was at Alabama, right? Whenever you can walk in anybody's door. When I was at Alabama, anybody, it didn't matter who you were, and you couldn't have talked to the kid ever. And when you walk in, when you leave, you're either tied or in the lead. So you can open up the door for more players at Alabama, right? Or Georgia or Ohio State or any of those. And so when you're at the super, super, super top elite schools and you're running recruiting, you really can pick of the 5-stars. You can eliminate some because you can go get top tier talent. Now, like when I was at Ole Miss, okay, we're going to do the same effort. We're going to go try to get in all of those doors, but because you're not a top tier school in their eyes, not just saying back then, and you're trying to build it up, when you are that kind of that second tier SEC program, you're automatically going to close doors for half of them, and then you can try to get the other one. So you're more likely to the more talented. Everywhere I've been, but Alabama, I can say that. Everywhere I've been, other than Alabama, you will take a couple of flyers on guys that are elitely talented, but may have some character issues, may have something or whatever it is. You will take more chances on those guys because they're so talented that coaches think you can fix everything. And so, but it is about the dudes, okay? And it really is. And a lot of people are like, our coach is this, your coach is that, and I was like, okay, well, your coach has dudes. You don't see very many times that in college football when somebody has elite talent that they really screw it up. Now, you may not win the whole damn thing, but they got a pretty damn good team. But all the time you see really good coaches that don't have great players struggle. Well, they didn't forget how to coach.
Yeah.
And so like in college football, there's 133 jobs in FBS in Division I. Okay, there's 32 NFL teams. So by the old math, that's 155 teams of the top level on this planet. Okay, and so if you get one of those 155 jobs, you know how to do the X's and O's. You know how to coach. It just depends on the players. It's who you got. It's the Cats. It's always going to be about the Cats. Now, you may have a coach that'll screw up something here or there, and obviously, but for the most part, if you got players, you're going to win a bunch of games. But going back to finishing the point is, so when you are, last time I did it, we had limitations where you could only take 25 a year. Now, the last 2 years they've gone to unlimited. So, you will actually, with unlimited, you'd probably be a little bit more likely to take flyers. And with the portal, the way the portal is now, you're probably a little bit more likely to take some character flyers or some, high ceiling guys because of the portal. When you're trying to build a program, the guys you're talking about, the 3-star guys that have the great character and all that stuff. If I found a guy that had all the intangibles I was looking for, hard worker and all that stuff, and he had a few elite characteristics, like he may be a little stiff in the hips, but he has elite speed, their character will develop the other stuff. When you got these really high talent guys, they're going to be okay. They're going to be good players. They might not be elite, but they're going to be really good players just by being talented. The ones that you see play on Sundays, those are guys that have elite talent and elite work ethic. So that's kind of how that goes.
Gotcha. Last question, then I'll let you guys go. Is there ever a situation that occurred during your coaching career where the kid was a good player, good kid, but the parents or uncle or brother around them was so toxic that you said, nope, have to pass?
Yes, but it's usually earlier in the process. Like you're not, you kind of make those decisions, and I guess by summertime, But yeah, there's been plenty of people and it's usually the quarterback position. But there have been plenty of crazies. I guess the latest I did is I had a kid committed one time that his mother decided to buy some things. I think I told a story on something. Buy some things on a visit, and I cut him loose because of that. At nighttime.
Oh, some vitamins.
Bought some real vitamins.
Yeah.
some street vitamins.
Oh, the
on the official
Flintstones
visit.
you can buy on the street.
Yeah, yeah, on the street outside the hotel.
Oh,
well, I appreciate you guys
I
answering
wasn't
my
gonna find
question.
out about that. Like, come on. Yep, you got it, man.
All right.
Yeah, that might be a red flag.
You think he's gonna have trouble with the test?
It's at least a yellow flag.
Yeah, that was no bueno. I'll tell you what, my Ohio State Buckeyes better get their shit together.
I was
going to
say, Criteria Club had Ohio State, right?
Yeah, so does everybody else. They're a 10-point favorite.
Well, they're in trouble right now.
This is supposed to be an easy game.
Hey, who do we have?
Yo, it's Grind.
What's up, Grind?
Grind, what it is.
It popped up multiple numbers.
Yo.
Couldn't tell what I was hitting.
It's all those text apps Grind's got going. All the ladies down in Mobile.
Yeah.
Oh no, man, no. Matter of fact, look, I'm gonna get to that. But to some previous callers' point, I remember my first time trying to sneak into a club, when my friends was like, man, you got a fake ID, man. Come on, man. How you ain't got a fake ID? So I was like, man, I'm gonna find one, man. I'm gonna find one. And so I'm snooping around my dad's house, and I find his old expired driver's license. And I was like, ooh, I found something. So I was like, so they called me. It was like, hey man, can we come pick you up or what? What's the move? I was like, yeah, man, come scoop me. I found something. So they was like, all right, bet. So they picked me up. We go to the club. We standing in line. Man, luckily I know one of the guys. I end up knowing one of the guys that's on the security team. But man, we get to the door. I hand brother license. He look at it.
He's like, come on.
He look at me. He said, 1970, huh? I was like, oh snap! I ain't even think about that. I was like, bro, just let me in, please. And then next thing you know, one of our friends who was on the security team, he was like, man, just let him in. He good, man. He good. And so I end up, that's how I end up getting into my first club sneaking in. But I didn't even think about that. I was just so young, just trying to find something.
1970. What the hell's wrong with people being born in 1970? Huh?
Well, no, that was the year my dad was born. So he was like, man, come on, bro. I know you weren't born back then. Like you got it.
Don't. You're hurting me right now. Just like taking a knife, sticking it in and just twisting it and twisting it some more.
No, Tucker.
No, man. Look, y'all in y'all prime, man. Y'all good, man. Y'all in y'all prime. Did y'all watch that Arkansas-Auburn game last night?
I did.
I'm the one person on earth that got into Lakers Hornets, man, and I did keep up with the Arkansas game because I was curious. I saw where they kept it close, and I did kind of see the end of it, but I didn't see a lot of it.
Look, I don't blame you because, like, basically the Arkansas, like the Hornets Lakers was the NBA version of Arkansas-Auburn. So I don't blame you. It was two defensive games. So yeah, if you're gonna watch two defensive games, I'd rather watch an NBA game. But
Arkansas can't. Arkansas can't finish games, and Auburn is elite at finishing games. They get in close games, and their pulse stays the same.
Yes, my two overarching thoughts from that game was this. My first thought was like, man, look, back in elementary school, man. In fourth and fifth, well, not fourth grade, but fifth grade. Not only was he at the same school as me, but we was in the same class, and I'm talking about Nick Mullins. I went to elementary school with Nick Mullins. I still remember this, man. And me and Nick Mullins had the crush on the same girl. Her name was Audrey. And it was crazy because even in fifth grade, Nick Mullins looked like he was 17, bro. It was a cheat code. It was like he was destined to be something. And look at him, bro. He playing the NFL, and I'm calling the hand raise guy. Shout out to my guys, man. But Audrey,
thanks, Grind.
She chose Nick Mullins. And you know what? I always said, bro, had I been in any other school, had Nick Mullins been in any other school, Audrey would have been my girl.
She would have been your girl.
And had Arkansas, she would have been my girl, bro. She would have been my girl. Had Nick Mullins been had he been at, not River Chase, had he been at Trace Crossings, any other school in Hoover, she would have been mine.
Jades Valley.
And that's what I thought about Arkansas last night,
Oak
bro.
Mountain. I mean,
if
you know what I'm saying? Bro, the list goes on and on, bro.
Mountain Brook.
Here's, I have this thing in sports that whatever your Achilles heel is,
John Carroll,
you either overcome it or it gets you. And Arkansas is as crazy as it sounds. You know what their biggest Achilles heel has been this year?
Hewitt Trussell.
Free throws.
Oh, yeah.
Like 179 in free throws, and they missed a bunch of them last night. And had they just made their free throws, they would have had a shot.
Yeah. And see, my thing is, I felt like had Arkansas played anybody but Auburn, they probably would have won last night.
Yes, I think so too. You know what?
They would have added
rating. Here's the one for you. Here's one for both of you guys. Y'all both like college basketball more than I do. Their net rating. I can't remember where I found this today, but I went down and confirmed it. Since February 1st, so basically the last 3 weeks, Arkansas is number 15 in the country in net rating.
saying if the season started February 1st.
No,
Analytics
just
from
in
them.
those days,
Yeah, in those days.
net offense versus net defense take the margin. They're 15th in the country, but they're not winning those games. They're playing good teams close, but they can't win.
Yeah. And that was my second thought from the game. I watched John Cal's post game. That man, he's not nowhere near retirement in my opinion. He's still sharp. He would call plays, and he even said that he was like, the reporters were trying to, put it on missed buckets, and he was like, guys, it's missed rebounds. It's missed rebounds. It's missed free throws. He was like, those are the things that's killing us. And I'm like, damn, he's still sharp.
I thought he had, from what I saw last night, I thought he had a really good plan. He had his team. His team was very prepared at Texas A&M and at Auburn. They were in both of those games late. They just couldn't finish them.
Agree. And another thing that I see, and maybe it's because, I do watch some other basketball and, maybe I don't watch their coaches as much. But, bro, in the SEC, it just feels like the coaches just fight so damn hard for their players. Like, you see Bruce and Cal, they just work officials, and Nate Oates. Them guys work officials like $5 whores. I mean,
Ohio State coach.
My goodness.
That one poor official last night, there was one point where Baker Mazzara
from this game.
Baker Mazzara is all up in the official. The official's telling him to stop talking. Baker Mazzara is still talking. And then as soon as he finishes with Chad, literally the guy, you can almost see the guy kind of like go, oh, thank God that's over. And then literally 1 second later, here's Cal up in his face with, you've got to give me that call. And there's not enough money for this guy to deal with those two people in a 6-second span.
I think Oates broke about 4 clipboards. He got teed up. He broke one Saturday too.
Yeah, the one of his assistants handed him that clipboard, and that clipboard had no chance.
Had a bad day.
No chance.
He slammed. So he broke the clipboard, got a tee last night, and then he threw something. It wasn't a clipboard. It's like, I guess he broke it. He can't. He had what he had on the paper. Whatever was on the clipboard, he threw that too.
And then he gets in his post game press conference, and the fire alarm starts going off, and you can just tell the guy's like,
"Let's go home.
What else can possibly happen?"
Had enough with Columbia. Let's go home. Grind, what trivia?
All right, you guys. Before I let y'all, I'm about to say before I let y'all go, y'all know I got some trivia for you guys, right?
Let's go.
I got some trivia.
Let's see how stupid.
All right,
here we go.
Mine died with that easy about 20 minutes ago.
So I got to tell you this story, Grind.
This is
Let me tell you this story real quick.
What's up?
So I was having internet issues. We finished McCready and Siskey, and I was doing some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Came back to get set up for the show, and there's no internet. And I'm like, damn it. And I call Northeast Spark, and I get a young guy on the phone, and he was terrific. Guided me through the whole thing. I had to reset everything. And
really?
I said, what's your name? Because I'm going to call and make sure I give you a great review. And he said, my name is Nehemiah. And I'm like, boy, that's a name you don't hear anymore. And he's like, it's biblical. And I said, did you know? And I start telling him, he's a young guy. I said, when I was a kid, the San Francisco 49ers had a wide receiver named Ronaldo Nehemiah. And I could tell the guy thought I was bullshitting him. And I was like, look it up. Look it up. And he's like, I said he was a track star, and they kind of recruited him to the NFL. I said, I think he played with Joe Montana. Maybe it was Steve Young, but I think it was Joe Montana. And we're going on. And I was like, he and Willie Galt were both in the NFL at the same time.
Tennessee legend.
And both of them were track stars who got into the NFL. And so the guy's like, he was funny. He was like, oh, I'm going to have to start watching these clips and stuff. And I said, here's where you know that. I said, I'm 55. I'm getting old. It's the end is very close. I can't remember anything that happened this morning, but I can tell you with relative certainty that Ronaldo Nehemiah wore number 83 for the San Francisco 49ers. And he goes, he did. The guy was just stunned. And I was like, yep, there you go. That's the first sign that the brain is shutting down. Is that you can't remember lunch, but you can remember what a wide receiver wore for the San Francisco 49ers in the early 80s.
The final curtain.
So go ahead, hit me with
this is crazy. All right, this is college basketball trivia. It's college basketball related trivia.
All right, Christian Laettner.
All right.
Grant Hill.
No, it's not that. The Final Four started in 1937. That was the first Final Four. Since then, there have been 10 states that have sent teams. Basically, there have been 10 states that have double-digit appearances in the Final Four. So let me explain what I'm saying.
Okay.
The state of Alabama, for instance, only has 2 Final Four appearances. Alabama has been once, and Auburn has been once.
Okay.
So, can you name the 10 states in order that have the most and only double-digit appearance or Final Four appearances?
North
If
Carolina.
you combine all the schools, all the schools in that state that
North
have been
Carolina.
to the Final Four,
North Carolina number 1.
Well, hold on.
do you agree? I'm going to need. Look, he don't know how this works, Neal. He don't know how this works. Look, you got to get him into it. I need consensus.
Yeah, so let's talk through this.
I need consensus on the pick.
North Carolina is certainly one of the states.
North Carolina.
Kentucky, because you have Kentucky.
I'm gonna say this. I'll give you a hint for number 1. There have been 87 Final Fours in total. The number 1 state has been to the Final Four 44 times, just a little bit over 50% of the time.
Okay, so you got to consider California because UCLA has been a bunch.
Yeah, it's up there. But for the number 1 spot, because you got North Carolina, Duke, you got NC State, you got I'm trying to think who else. I mean, you got Virginia.
They're not in North Carolina.
I'm thinking ACC. I was going through my ACC. Easy.
Hey, breaking.
Brother, Easy's rolling.
I mean, Wake Forest, but I'm not sure Wake Forest has been to the Final Four. All right, so in California, you've got UCLA. You've got back in the Bill Russell days, San Francisco.
Yeah.
You've got Stanford, Cal, USC, San Diego State went just recently to the Final Four. So there's going to be UCLA's been a bunch. Like Russell Westbrook and Kevin Love went to the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have a heavy California's a contender here.
Is this going to be one of those weird things where we're counting Texas Western and Texas's count?
Well, they all count as Texas. They're in Texas. That's why they call them Texas Western.
Yeah, they're
in
not
the
the
western
school
part of Texas, but they're at UTEP.
Are we counting schools that don't exist anymore, by the way?
If they were on the list and Final Four, even if their name changed, they're considered in that state.
Okay. I'm going North Carolina.
All right. I'm gonna guess California's number 1.
I need consensus, guys. Come on.
All right, I'll
number 1.
Tyler's kind enough to come here and be here. I'll go North Carolina.
All right. The state with the most Final Four appearances, they've been 50.5% of the time, 44 appearances, is North Carolina.
Oh, wow. How about that? Look at that. Hey, easy.
The combined Duke and North Carolina have 38 Final Four appearances.
Wow.
More than any other state. So the second state, if you can combine all of their teams, doesn't equal, is still less than how many times if you add Duke and North Carolina.
What's number 2's number?
Number 2's number is 30. This state has been to the Final Four 30 times.
All right, let me go.
I'm going to give you a second hit. It is only one. Well, no. It is one of 3 states that is west of the Mississippi.
Means you're talking California, Texas.
You got states that have been in the Final Four a bunch.
Kansas has been there a bunch.
Kansas State has not.
No. Has Creighton ever been there?
I don't think so. Maybe once. But you got
Creighton's in Nebraska.
Arizona's been to the Final Four.
Wichita State's been to the Final Four.
Have they?
Yeah.
Obviously California.
No team other than
UNLV back in the day, Nevada.
Yeah, but that's not enough.
Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa. Oklahoma.
Is Michigan?
This state has 30. This state has 30
California. I'm going California
Final Four appearances.
because of UCLA. I'm going California. Final answer.
California.
Number 2 is the state of California.
Okay.
They have 30 appearances all time.
All right. Number 3. What's their number?
26.
All right.
This state is not east of the Mississippi.
It's
All right.
not.
It is one of the 7 that is not. I mean, that is not west. Excuse me. It is not west of the
3.
Mississippi. It's
Number
one of the
3 is the state.
one of those 7 states.
Commonwealth state.
Yeah,
the state of Kentucky.
Yeah, we're both in consensus here. I'm going to go
Consensus,
Kentucky because you
3.
got Kentucky and Louisville.
All right. That is a good job. Number 3 is Kentucky. Kentucky has been 17 times, and Louisville has been like 8 times, and then you got sprinkled in some love, like Western Kentucky, some love schools.
Okay.
Number 4, this state has been 22 times. It is one of 3 states west of the Mississippi River.
Got to be Texas because you got Houston.
Yeah.
Texas. You got
there's
Texas
2 men.
Tech, UTEP,
Texas Western.
Baylor.
Yeah. Texas. State number 4. Final answer.
Number 4 is not Texas.
Oh, Kansas.
Number 4 is Kansas. The state of Kansas has been 22 times.
Kansas has been 20.
Rock chalk, man.
One of the 20. I don't know how many times it's been. All right. Then the next state is then.
State number 5 has been 17 times, but this state is east of the Mississippi River.
Michigan? Is Michigan east of the river? Yeah.
We're going to say it is. Michigan.
It is not Michigan.
Oh, some bitch.
Ohio.
I mean,
Indiana.
oh. Because you got Indiana. You got Butler win a couple of times.
Indiana State. went
Indiana
once,
State with Larry Bird.
1978.
Indiana.
It is not Indiana.
Oh, damn. Some bitch.
All right. What is it?
It is Ohio. The state of Ohio has been 17 times. You have Ohio State. Cincinnati has been 6 times.
Oscar Roberts.
Dayton has been a little bit.
I forgot about
Dayton. Who would have thought Dayton made the Final Four?
I can tell you who's not going to be in the Final Four this year. It's going to be the Ohio State Buckeyes. They're freaking killing me right now. Are you shitting me? They're getting their ass kicked by Northwestern.
Yep.
They
Chris Collins.
Northwestern has higher SAT scores than the Ohio State offense right now.
We have 2 states tied at 15 appearances.
Texas.
One is okay.
We said one a second ago. Did we say Indiana?
Indiana was one. Texas and Indiana.
I can tell you the top 10 is going to be Texas, Indiana, Florida.
Oh, Florida. I forgot about Florida.
Texas, Indiana, Florida, and let's go. I think we're going to have I wonder how the Northeast works out.
Florida does not have double-digit Final Four appearances. The state of Florida does not.
Because it's just Florida. No. FAU the one time.
Miami didn't make it to the Final Four, did they? They lost in Elite 8. They
Final
Four, did they?
No, Miami went to the Final Four one time.
I got you. Recently is what I'm thinking. Like a few years ago. Maybe was that last year they went to the Final Four?
I wonder would it be New York?
And FAU.
Would it be New York?
FAU went once.
New York's got Syracuse, St. John's.
So that's what I was thinking is New York's got to be Syracuse.
I was going to say, you guys got Texas and Indiana at both 15 apiece.
Okay.
So the next state, so you got 3 states left, all east of the Mississippi.
Okay.
So Michigan.
You just said one of them.
New York has got to be one.
New York has 13 appearances.
Yeah.
I'm surprised with Florida because we had Miami. I remember Miami, Florida, and FAU going the last few years.
Florida's only been like 3 times.
I was just thinking 1933, man.
Yeah.
Virginia? Oh, I bet Philadelphia. Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania is after New York. They've been 12 times.
Yeah.
And then the last state with 11 appearances, the last state with double-digit appearances is?
What state is Georgetown in? They're in D.C. itself, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that it's not them.
I mean, Virginia?
Mm-mm.
No. Shit, I'm
I
telling you.
give. What is it?
I give up.
Mercy.
Illinois.
Oh.
The state of Illinois has 11 appearances all time. So, yeah.
Oh,
You guys did pretty good. So, yeah, man. I appreciate you guys taking my call. And like I said, man, I'm going to keep enjoying the show.
Appreciate you,
thanks,
Grind.
Grind.
All right.
All right.
You like the easy, huh?
Easy.
This is a blowout.
Dude, what are we doing?
We're about to turn to some hockey.
Yeah, let's go ahead and turn it. I'm tired of watching it.
Northwestern's at the line. Damn. How'd that happen?
Dude, I don't know. That's whack.
Is the game on ESPN?
I have no idea. Criteria Club going to bed early tonight. Probably a good thing. Probably a good thing.
There we go. Yeah, ESPN starting soon.
Probably a good thing. How many fights we got? We got to see the start of.
Yeah, we're gonna watch the start. We'll see if we boo the anthem.
Do you get the? Are you going to boo the anthem when they start singing?
I mean, it's a great.
I'll tell you, if ESPN
anthem.
doesn't show that part,
it'll tell me that they're against the booing.
we have.
Hey, caller, who do we have?
Hey, y'all, it's Mark in Columbus.
What's up, Mark?
What's up, Mark?
Hey, those Buckeyes getting smoked out there by Northwestern or what?
What are we doing? They're just crushing the Criteria
They went
Club
cheating.
before you get started.
Ross hired the interim. We heard that story before.
Well,
exactly what he did. He had a 6 week coach.
Tyler's never saying a negative word about Ross.
Wrong caller, wrong show. Chasing me back next week.
He had a 6 week window to hire a coach. It came up with Jake Diebler at Ohio State. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Hey, maybe
I hear the Oxford Exxon podcast will be on Monday morning at 8:15.
It's quite possible that all the local Columbus merchants just made a push for him. You know.
Well, if you're Ross Bjork and you just arrived at the school and the previous athletic director gave the previous coach a completely unwarranted extension and had to fire him, don't you not owe anybody anything and you get to go in there and say, this is my hire? He didn't do that. I mean, it is what it is. They don't care.
I didn't know if you heard Ross Bjork is the AD of the 2024 NCAA football champions.
Oh, I'm well aware.
I heard the Vols went up. I heard the Vols went up. Ross Bjork paid a good visit to the Vols up in December. Is that true?
Hey, I went to that game for about one drive.
You didn't leave, did you?
Well, it was 15 degrees. I didn't need to see anything more than the first drive. I knew what was taking place. I said, I could be at my couch in 25 minutes. I'm going to my couch.
You left a college
I don't need to see
playoff
this
game to go to the couch.
Honestly, this whole new landscape. And look, my team, I'm a fan of a program that made the playoffs. I never watched less college football than I did this past year.
Yeah.
Just one guy. I don't know if it's nationwide people feel that way. I've never watched less.
I know we don't feel
doesn't mean I wasn't excited for it, but
I know we're.
I knew we were getting smoked.
Let me tell you how you know this hockey game is a big deal. Is my son, who also doesn't watch hockey, just texts me, "Hey, are you gonna watch the hockey game tonight?"
Yeah, they're doing the opening right now with the from the movie about the 1980 team.
He says, "I have it on at the house right now. I've never felt more patriotic."
I was 10.
Oh, we got it going.
That's what I'm saying.
Hang on, I got to take the headsets off.
I was 10 years old when 1980 happened. It was phenomenal. I mean, I remember those days vividly. It was one of the coolest times in the world to be an American. Both of you guys are probably too young
Neal.
for that.
That's 3.
Hey, Neal.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago in your mailbag, you talked about a story that you wish you had. The one story, a story you regretted about not having thought you had the goods on Tennessee and T. Martin.
Yeah.
Now, you may have been elected governor of Alabama if you had gotten that story out. We might not be friends, but
we kind of did get it out. But what happened was the SEC really rallied around Tennessee and made that story kind of go away. They minimized it.
Was that kind of during the Albert Means stuff, or was that before, like Fulmer couldn't show up at Hoover and all that?
It was around that time. I can't remember exactly when it was in the
Because I know he was enemy number one in Alabama for a very long time.
Yeah.
But Phil Fulmer would never cheat. I don't know what you're talking about.
Which one is he talking about? Because my headset's
the story with T. Martin, the booster, Diane.
T. Martin, Williamson High School, Mobile, Alabama.
Yeah.
I
mean,
Phil Fulmer would never cheat.
I had the paperwork.
There was nobody cheated back in those days.
I mean, I literally had the Western Union I mean, I had it.
Telegram.
Well, the way it had been sent, I had the whole thing. Yeah, it was an old story. That was a.
I mean,
that's back.
Fulmer only had the
wires, huh?
Tennessee and the SEC,
the old Western Union money wire.
Tennessee and the SEC rallied. They circled the wagons pretty tight on that one.
Yeah.
We played under a little different rule book than the rest of the league. I mean, Fulmer only had the best roster in the league for like 7 years. And I don't think it's because all those kids just heard Rocky Top one time and said, I'm going to play here for free.
Well, it wasn't really that. It was that, the stadium's down by the river.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure when they did dinner in the nighttime at the stadium.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Calhoun's.
And while you're sitting there.
Those ribs at Calhoun's.
Brother,
game changer.
You're up in that press box and you're eating that Saturday night dinner, that prime rib. You're slicing it, and all of a sudden you hear, Rugged Top, you'll always be.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when you sign, I don't think when you sign Jamal Lewis, Cozy Coleman, and Deion Grant out of the Atlanta area in one class, that they came there just for tuition and room and board.
Jamal Lewis wanted to run through that tee. Some kind of.
He had to.
He just had to.
Hey, let me tell you two beasts on that team that don't get their due. Peerless Price.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're a stud.
Peerless Price. And let me tell you who would knock your ass out. Because this is back in my playing days. Al freaking Wilson.
Al Wilson is the Patrick Willis of Tennessee.
So
maybe even more revered. Al Wilson coached that '98 team. Phil Fulmer didn't do shit. Al Wilson. You answered Al Wilson.
So that was my last year at Auburn. We played that year. They won the national championship. May have been the worst season in the history of Auburn University. We were
I remember it well.
Terrible. And brother, we had a chance. We had the ball first and goal.
Oh, you had us on the rope.
Had the ball first goal with a chance to win the game at the end of the game. And that was like third game early in the season, like second or third game of the season.
What year was this?
98. It was at Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Oh yeah, that was my first year on the beat. I don't remember that.
And we had them on. We had the ball first
y'all went
to
to Mississippi State the next week and lost, right?
Yeah, we went 3-8.
Yeah,
we beat Ole Miss, we beat Central Florida, and we beat
Louisiana Tech.
Mm-hmm. That was the 3 games.
You had the baseball. What was his name? Gabe Gross playing quarterback.
Yep, he was a true freshman. Yeah, we were terrible.
And that. But Al Wilson's kind of the Patrick Willis of.
He was a beast.
Comparable.
Peerless Price.
I mean, he was the coach of that team.
What was 12's name? The other receiver.
Marcus Nash, but he left. Nash. He had left. He left with Peyton.
Maybe that was 90 because we played him in the 90s in the SEC championship game in '97.
Yeah.
And lost 31-29 to Peyton in his senior year.
But I just always wanted to know what the whole deal was with that. I read that in your mailbag about the story about T. I said, well, Neal might be governor of Alabama today if that had gone.
So the craziest part of that story was that the middleman who delivered the money from Diane Sanford to T. Martin was a sports writer at the Mobile Register. You can only imagine.
It just means more.
You can only imagine those meetings when that came out.
How'd that work out for him?
I think they had to let him go.
Okay.
Man. But that was a fascinating time. And the guy that left me the paperwork was at a car dealership that I will not name because I won't. But he left it.
Guess.
He left it. He left it. He told me where to get it next to one of the bushes at the dealership. And I just knew when I went to get it that I was going to get shot. I knew I was dead. I knew I was dead. I was like, this is so stupid. I don't even care enough to do this, to die for this. I don't think
All for the great name of journalism, Neal. Come on.
Well, that was a time when
that's real journalism.
That was real journalism.
Yeah, that's real
I thought I was going places. Clearly I was wrong, but I thought I was. I was breaking stories. That was 2 or 3 years in my career when I thought, some of these dreams might come true. Needless to say, here I'm sitting here with Tyler.
Hey,
no kidding. It was interesting.
Yeah,
time.
but
It was an interesting time.
oh yeah, for sure. I heard you talk today about how the kids want to be coached hard, and I'm not going to make this an all Tennessee call, but real quick.
Go Vols.
Dalton Connect, during his recruiting for the portal, I mean, he told Rick Barnes, I want you to coach me hard. And Rick Barnes says, well, I can do that. These kids want to be coached.
Yeah.
The elite ones do for sure.
I mean, listen, I live with one that I can tell you that the coaches that he liked the most were the ones who coached the hardest. He loved pretty much all of his coaches, but the ones that he'll tell you developed him as a player were the ones who coached him the hardest. And he loved that. He hated when the coaches kowtowed to other players because they were good, and it ended up making the team soft. He hated that. It ate at him.
On that same front, look, I contend that Rick Pitino is the best college basketball coach of the last 40 years. If he stays at Kentucky, do you think, like I do, that he runs off some wooden type shit? Like
Yes, and I'll go one further.
12 years.
If he just wins the ping pong ball in Boston and they get Tim Duncan, he goes down as one of the great NBA coaches. To Tyler's point about it is ultimately about the dudes, but he maximized dudes. If he could have got Duncan in Boston, he would have won titles.
He took Jamal Mashburn and 4 intramural players and almost beat the greatest dynasty of that time.
You know what? Gene Wojciechowski wrote a book about that game, and it is fantastic.
It's probably the greatest college basketball game ever played.
I think the title of the book is Greatest Game Ever Played, and it is a phenomenal story that kind of dives into the stories behind those two teams, and the stories behind that Kentucky team are remarkable. What he did with Richie Farmer and John Pelfrey and those cats to almost beat that Duke team that goes down in history as one of the great college basketball teams of all time. Grant Hill and Bobby Hurley and Christian Laettner. And I mean, that was a phenomenal Duke team.
And Kentucky had almost been put on the death penalty, basically, before Pitino got there.
Well, that's
how down they were.
Those kids stayed when they could have left. They literally were allowed to leave and didn't.
And he took those 4 and Jamal Mashburn and turned it, because I contend if he stays at Kentucky, he wins like 8 natties in 12 years type stuff. With the way he was recruiting.
Could be. I mean, he would have had a Saban-esque run at Kentucky. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you.
Anybody can do a wooden thing anymore, but he would have had a Nick Saban sort of run in basketball. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks, man.
Thanks,
Talk to you later.
All right, take care.
It's about anthem time, isn't it?
I know it's time.
It's about anthem time.
Crank her up. We get a strike.
I think about as long as I don't turn it up too loud.
Shouldn't we have been smart here and dressed like John Jones and Mike Tyson and some gear, put the goalie mask on and then just crank it up, give them the beat down.
This is awesome. Look at the crowd.
I really don't care if they win the game. I just want them to win
2
the
weeks
fights.
ago, I didn't even know this thing existed.
Yeah, we're it's the best. I bet the ratings on this thing are nuts right now.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Nobody even knew what was going on 2 days ago. What game we talking about, Grind? He said, what game went down?
The Duke, Kentucky, 1990. What year was that? 92.
I was at my dad's house.
I was a senior in college.
Watched it live.
I watched.
You were a senior. I was 15.
I watched it.
I was 14. All right, let's get to the anthems. Let's go. These guys are like, all right, we got to do.
Oh, they're doing starting lineups first.
We got to do introductions. We got to do all this stuff. And then before we can fight, they're sitting there.
They got the little. And they got the
Wayne Gretzky.
They got the little kids on the field and Wayne Gretzky. They're doing everything they can. Hey guys, guys, we can't have a brawl right here.
We're just Make-A-Wish kid will roll out there in just a second, right in the middle of them. I mean,
it's terrible. What can we do that they won't boo? Because they booed Santa Claus.
That's all they got left. They're pulling out all the stops. Look, I told you, look.
Make-A-Wish.
I told you, look.
Canada's like, these kids have a week left.
Hey, listen. When this national anthem starts, you need to slide on back, kid.
Yeah. That kid's mom said, whatever you do, leave.
What do you put? That guy has no chance. He's getting his ass kicked.
He's like, oh, shit.
Here we go.
It's fight time.
Yeah, we're ready to go.
He's like, I just wanted to play hockey.
Yeah, I just want to.
And that guy's like, all right, bring it.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He's about that life.
She's like, do not take your helmet off.
Yes. Yeah. Leave your helmet on. Go hide behind the goalie. Oh,
this is fantastic.
I saw the kids out there. That's what made me say it.
Oh, we're bringing out Mike Ruzioni. Oh, we're doing all the stuff.
Yeah, let's go.
They've got Gretzky, but we've got a Ruzioni, bitches.
Yeah. What do you got to say about that? They're gonna have a Herb Brooks hologram in mid-ice.
Yeah,
dropping the puck.
Have George Washington deliver the pregame.
Trump's gonna parachute in.
Everybody's chanting USA. This is incredible.
Yeah.
Mike Ruzioni's like, you got nothing on me, Gretzky.
Hey guys,
you won 10 Stanley Cups, but I won 1980, bitch.
Hey Wayne, when this thing gets popping, we got to get out of here. We're gonna break a hip.
Yeah. Ruzioni's like, look, let's pretend to fight.
Oh, he's already got his helmet on.
He's got his game face on.
Oh, how about this? The Americans going no
helmets.
Sending a message.
That is sending a message. Brock Faber. No helmets. Totally locked in. So it's one of the Kachuk brothers. Yeah. Yep.
He's got his helmet on.
Yeah, he's ready to roll. Who's the goalkeeper? Surely the goalkeeper will put his helmet on. I would not want to play goalkeeper without it.
That would hurt.
That would hurt. All right, time to boo the Canadian anthem.
What if they don't? We gotta hear it. Let's go. Come on. The spirit. Oh, now
we're going to
got more. They're drawing this thing out as long as they can draw it out. Like maybe if we stand out here long enough, they'll forget that they want to fight.
Okay.
Congratulations.
All right, fight now.
All right, let's go.
Someone punch somebody
right now.
If the American guy would just hit Gretzky upside the head with that stick right now, we could get at this.
All right, shaking your hand.
We shook hands. That's not a good sign.
I'm not shaking somebody's hand.
No.
They haven't started singing the national anthem just yet. All right, here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
That's time now.
It's time to sing "Oh Canada."
What are we gonna do? Oh, they're bringing out a guy.
The
We're
Boston,
not playing. The
Boston Fire Department's got an axe.
Got an axe. We're coming. We're bringing in.
We got another axe.
We're bringing in shanks.
There's no telling who all we're going to hit.
The Boston Fire Department's bringing in shanks.
Yeah.
Oh, this poor girl. You know what? She's going. She's fisting.
Here she goes.
Oh yeah, they're booing. Yeah, they're booing. Poor lady. They're like, turn her mic up. Turn her mic up.
Yeah, they're like, turn the crowd down. Yeah, they're trying to not let you hear it, but it's there. That is a drunk crowd, dude. It's gonna get wild.
What if we go fights and then the crowd starts fighting everybody? That's gotta happen, right?
Well, let's hope not.
If you're wearing you're wearing a Canadian jersey and American,
well, there's a lot of them, but yes, let's hope that doesn't happen. That doesn't end well. Tupelo says, I'm disappointed in our country. Yeah, I think they soundproofed it.
You can hear them though.
Yeah, they're booing.
They're not showing anybody booing, but you can hear it.
Yeah.
So there's plenty to pick from. Now they're really booing.
She knew she was getting booed. She was braced for it.
USA chance.
This is so wild.
Bring out Kid Rock.
Oh, they're bringing out America's Orchestra. Yeah, we should bring out Kid Rock and Snoop Dogg and just let them go. Bruce Springsteen. Who's she?
No idea. They didn't introduce her. Unless she's a opera singer, I guess. Yep.
Yeah, this place is ready to erupt.
I'm going to be very disappointed if we don't get fisticuffs thrown very early.
Canada, America Junior.
Love it.
All right. Thanks to everybody for being with us tonight for Hand Raised Guys, brought to you by Comer and Southern. Appreciate all the callers. It's a lot of fun. Tyler, thank you for coming. Appreciate that very much. We'll be back. We'll have coverage of Ole Miss baseball all weekend. Ole Miss in Eastern Kentucky. I'll have coverage of Ole Miss at Vanderbilt basketball. 10 weekend thoughts on Sunday. Then back on Monday for another week of podcast here at MPW Digital. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Try to stay warm. Talk to you soon. Bye.